If it seems like I've been a lot more annoying lately, it's because it's been about a month since I've had a drink. So I'm not saying I'm never drinking again or anything like that. I just want to be a normal person. I want to be a normal guy who can have a few beers with the guys at a barbecue or at a baseball game or at a show and not have to have 4 to 6 beers every night when I come home. And that's kind of the point I got to. I'm what you would call a high functioning alcoholic. Uh, Technically, I'm a high functioning addict because in my younger days, I didn't really drink much, but I did a lot of other stuff. But as I got older and I had a family and I was in charge and responsible for children, it just got to be where like I didn't want to fool with that stuff anymore. I started getting panic attacks. So I did what most people do when they grow up and I transitioned to straight alcohol. So, because alcohol and caffeine are the only drugs deemed socially acceptable. And when I say high functioning, what I mean is I'm not an angry drunk. I'm not a sad drunk. I'm not belligerent. I can be. I have been a couple of times. Just when you go out to the lake and you drink all day and don't eat, something could set you off. But I'm not a fall down drunk. I'm not a lose your job drunk. I never drank at work or during work hours. Like it was always an after work thing. And that's how it started. It was I would drink pretty heavily on the weekends, and then it became like drink heavily on the weekends, and then have a pit stop on Wednesday, and have a few beers on Wednesday. Then it became like every other day, technically. Then it became 3 days a week, 4 days a week. Before I knew it, within the last year, just with everything going on, I was drinking 4 to 6 beers every night after work. So it didn't matter what I did. I had rituals for everything. And it got to the point recently where it was like 7 beers. At that point, my OCD and my alcoholism were clashing because I had this odd number of beers left over. I was doing all this ridiculous math because I had like, well, I drank 7 beers today, so that leaves me five, and five's not going to be enough, so I got to get another. Do I need to get a 6 pack? Do I need to get a 12 pack? Where am I going to stop? Am I going to run to the store? Am I going to stop on the way home? I was doing all this math in my head, like, well, if I had this many today, then I'll have this many left over tomorrow, and then I could buy more on the day after tomorrow, but then that's going to leave me in the hole the day after that. So it was just ridiculous, just absolute bonkers behavior for a full grown adult. So about a month ago, at the beginning of July, I had my vacation squared away. I had a whole week off, and I had a plan to like get a bunch of work on the house done, and then maybe head down to the beach for a couple of days, or go to a primitive campsite for a couple of days just by myself. And wouldn't you know it, that Sunday night, the day before my vacation started, I started feeling bad, and I knew Monday that I just had full blown sinus infection. And I tested for COVID and flu A and B, and that was all negative, so I knew for sure. So I was like, I'm just gonna tough it out. Tried to tough it out for a couple of days, and then I was like, man, you're being so stupid. You're wasting your whole vacation. Just go to the doctor. And I got a Z pack and some steroids, and like immediately started feeling better. But kind of wasted most of that week. I felt really stupid for that. One thing about being sick, I do not like to drink when I'm sick because I feel like shit all day. And then at night, when it gets close to bedtime, I'll take some NyQuil just so I can get some rest. So I didn't drink that week at all, especially after I got on the steroids. Like I was high as giraffe balls on steroids for the rest of that week and that weekend. So I didn't even think about it. Didn't want to drink at all. So I started feeling pretty good. Like the next week, I was off the steroids. I was off everything. I hadn't had a drink in like 7 days. And I was feeling lighter. My head felt clearer. I was more productive at work. I was more present and productive with my bands. So I was like, I'm going to ride this for a while and see what it's like. And then the week after that was another great week. I was still like really, really productive. Too productive, really. You've seen how many absolutely insane videos I've released. The reason I've been making all these videos is because I'm trying to stay busy. Because when I get home from work, if I don't work on a project, then I'm like, well, I can have a couple of beers. And I'm not doing a hard and fast. I'm quitting cold turkey and never having a beer again, like I said. So just been trying to stay busy. I've also been eating better. So I've been losing a little bit of weight. I think I'm down 13 pounds, 14 pounds in this month. So That's good. And that's also going to help with my foot issue. I still have a pretty bad, my right foot feels not 100% better, but I think I've really healed most of the plantar fasciitis in my right foot. My left foot is still bad. It gets bad. Like yesterday, I did all this strenuous stuff, and like just man, my heels just hurt so bad. So I think I'm almost in bone spur territory with that. So I've been a lot more manic and a lot more productive because I didn't know it, but apparently the only thing keeping a lid on my ADD and my spectrum disorder and my OCD was my alcoholism. So my apologies for everything you've had to deal with, but just know that I'm probably not going to change. I'm sorry. I've also done a lot of thinking about, the past 10 years, give or take. In some ways, like I kind of wish I was that fall down drunk that you can't take anywhere because he'll embarrass you or start a fight. I wish I was that pass out drunk who had to come home and drink until he blacks out and falls down and hits their head. And they always show up at work with like this new head injury, and you got to ask them about it. Uh, I kind of wish I was the guy that was like job to job to job because I can't keep it together. Or, well, I got my third DUI, or whatever. I hate saying that, but in a lot of ways, I think being high functioning is like the worst type of addict you can be because there's no like defining event that says you've got a problem and you've got to slow down and you've got to stop. Like there's no fork in the road because you're maintaining whatever road you're on. The only difference is you don't care which way you go because you're gonna grab some beers on the way home and you're gonna be fine with it. In some ways, I wish I kind of was that guy because I would have had some kind of come to Jesus moment, some kind of life altering thing that had happened, but it really didn't. I never really thought about it, never really noticed it because it was never really a problem. And I kind of wish it had been. It's never affected my employment. It's never really affected any of my friendships. It has affected my marriage, and I will fully take the blame for that. There were other factors involved in like how that's all gone, but me having to drink every day definitely didn't help the situation. But standing back and like looking at the big picture, I'm not sure that my not drinking would have yielded a different result or a drastically different result. I'm not sure. I wish I could find out, but I think at this point, whether I'm drinking or not, the fact is that I'm just not easy to live with. My friends and like people that are close to me that don't live with me, they don't really understand because, it's just different when you live with somebody. And I know I'm self aware. I'm hard to live with. I'm hard to be around all the time. And I'm finding a way to be okay with that. Like it's been a weird year, and I've been dealing with that. I'm trying to deal with all that constructively. Like I'm trying to got my stuff back over here. I'm getting my studio set back up. I'm going to create instead of destroy. I'm creating video content. I'm creating songs. I'm creating music. So when I'm not doing that, I've got sketch ideas that I'm writing down, and I'm planning videos, planning future stuff. So I'm sorry for bombarding you with this stuff all the time. I really just don't have another outlet. I don't really have. There are people I can talk to, but they've got their own problems. Like this is my catharsis. Watch the videos, don't watch the videos, listen to the songs, don't listen to the songs. I have ideas that I have to get out of my head, and I have things that I want to do to stay busy. So I'm going to keep doing that. And like I said, I just want to be a normal person that can have a regular amount of beers once in a while. And I think I can. One thing I've learned about myself over this past month is like I can't just be sober, I don't know if I was always this annoying and didn't notice because I was lit, or if I'm more annoying now. Yeah, I've learned that I can be sober. I need to learn how to regulate everything else about me because I'm so used to just coming home and having some beers and like not bothering anybody. But now I come home and like I got a million ideas and I'm going to bother somebody about it. And I'm not going to change. Uh, all the good and all the bad, and like the way things have played out in areas of my life, um, I can't change them. This isn't the ideal character build I would do if this was an RPG. I'm halfway through, man. If I'm lucky, I've got 45 more years. I just don't think I can change my nature. This is what I'm like. This is who I am. And I'm not a fan really, but hey, man, that's crazy. I'm like, I guess auditory hallucinations are part of this too, because I keep hearing stuff. That sounded like a voice, like a lady's voice. It's weird. Little backstory to that. Trying to get rid of some of the bedroom furniture from this room, and I've had one of my good friends has been kind of intermediary on Facebook Marketplace. So there was some lady who might come by today after 5:30. So I've just kind of been just waiting in case they show up. And she didn't sound like her elevator went all the way to the top floor, if you know what I'm saying. She said, "What time do you want me to come?" Like CUM. So I was like, "Oh, here we go." But anyway, thought I heard a voice, but I didn't. So I'm gonna give myself some ground rules. I'm just gonna ride this out as long as I can, as long as I feel like it. But after that point, if I want to have a few beers again, I'm just gonna say like just the weekends, one day on the weekend, like on a Sunday maybe. Depending on how the Saints do this year, I'm probably gonna definitely want to have a few beers on Sunday. Again, that's alcoholism. Like whether they do good or whether they do bad, I'm gonna have some. I'm gonna have some beers about it. That's your team's up or team's down. Like there's always a reason to drink. If we're going to an event, every event in Meridian just about is a drink and walk of some kind. It's always co-sponsored or sponsored by beer distributors. So like, you know, if I go to an event and have a couple of beers, it's not a big deal. I just want to be a normal person that can do that and not have to have 4 to 7 beers every night when I get home. I'm confident that I can do that. I'm feeling good. Definitely feeling better, feeling lighter, feeling sharper. I'm a little more scattered. Like, I'll say that. Like, I had this song in my head all day, and I got home and I've started working on it. I've got an idea for another video after this one. So, I mean, I'm just, my brains are scattered everywhere, man. So, this isn't the last you've heard from me. I guarantee it. So, if you don't like what I'm doing right now, you're definitely not going to like what comes next.